Good evening and welcome. I am Amarachi Ubani. Tonight, Acting President Yemi Osinbajo orders security operatives to step up search and rescue effort to free NNPC and UNIMAID workers still in Boko Haram captivity. APC members in Kaduna and Rivers states dispute the conduct of the party's congresses as youth disrupt a press conference organized by the aggrieved members in Kaduna. Pharmacists Council of Nigeria moves against illegal dispensation of drugs, seals hundreds of patent medicine stores in Abia State. And a spat between Russia and the United States deepens as President Vladimir Putin orders 755 U.S. diplomatic staff to leave Moscow. The acting president, Yemi Osinbajo, has ordered that the search and rescue missions to locate and free all remaining NNPC and other personnel abducted by Boko Haram in Borno State be intensified. Several staff of the NNPC and University of Maiduguri were kidnapped by Boko Haram terrorists on July 25th on their way to the Lake Chad area for oil exploration work. But the acting president, while commending the military for progress already recorded in the rescue effort, vowed that justice would be pursued for the victims. Professor Osinbajo said in a statement that the objective behind the oil exploration in the Lake Chad is to open up new areas for exploitation of the resource for the common good of all Nigerians. He applauds the courage of the kidnapped workers, saying, "Some of these extraordinarily selfless Nigerians from the NNPC and the University of Maiduguri put their lives on the line that we and generations to come will enjoy the resources of this land. We will never forget that sacrifice." End of quote. The Nigerian army had claimed that some of the NNPC staff had been rescued, but in a video obtained exclusively by Channels Television, some of the kidnapped workers were seen pleading with the government to ensure their rescue. The army has since retracted its statement. Meanwhile, the African Union, the United Nations and the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, have condemned the Boko Haram terrorist ambush in Maiduguri on July 25th against a convoy of personnel of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company, accompanied by geologists under military escort. A joint press statement issued by the three groups reaffirmed their support to the people and the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in their implacable struggle against terrorism. The AU, UN and ECOWAS go on to reiterate their support to all ECOWAS states to fight against terrorism by encouraging them to implement the ECOWAS counter-terrorism strategy aimed at eradicating the menace in the region. The three groups wished the injured a swift recovery, while also expressing their deepest condolences to the victims and their families, as well as to the people and government of Nigeria. The Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, has sent an urgent appeal to the UN, urging it to put pressure on the leadership of the National Assembly in Nigeria, particularly the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Mr. Yakubu Dogara, to withdraw an alleged repressive bill to establish a commission that would monitor civil society groups and others. SERAP says the bill is aimed at supervising, deregistering and pre-approving all activities by civil society, labor, community-based organizations and the media in the country. A part of a press statement issued by SERAP's Executive Director, Mr. Adetokunbo Mumuni, reads, "The sole objective of the House of Representatives is to weaken and delegitimize the work of independent and credible civil society. If adopted, the bill, which is copied from repressive countries like Somalia, Ethiopia and Uganda, would have a chilling effect not only on expressions of peaceful dissent by the citizens, but also on the legitimate work of NGOs." End of quote. SERAP adds that it is seriously concerned that the bill is by far the most dangerous piece of legislation in the country in terms of its reach and devastating consequences. And this may not be the best of times for the All Progressives Congress as inter-party politics continues to reveal cracks In more branches of the party at state levels, the problem is rearing its head again in Kaduna and Rivers states, where the conduct of local government delegate congresses in both states have been greeted with accusations and counter-accusations. While the state's acting secretary in Kaduna, Salisu Tanko, describes the exercise as free and fair, the senators representing Kaduna North and Kaduna Central, Sulaiman Hunkui and Shehu Sani, are calling the national body of the party to cancel the exercise and order a fresh one. Elsewhere in Rivers State, South Nigeria, aggrieved party faithful are alleging attempts to rig the election.
8 chapters of the All Progressives Congress prepare for the National Convention of the party. Accusations of manipulation continued this weekend at some local government delegate congresses. In Kaduna State, northwest Nigeria, 23 local government areas were involved in the exercise. One the party says all stakeholders attended and was free and fair, as supervised by 5 national officers from the party's headquarters.
The APC in Kaduna State welcomed the outcome of the Congress and exercise that demonstrated and consolidated the party as a united entity, vibrant and supportive of the value brought the APC into being.
At another press conference organized by some aggrieved members at the state NUJ Secretariat in the city, some cars and other valuables were allegedly destroyed by thugs. Some National Assembly members trade words over the conduct and outcome of the exercise.
We have been duly informed that somebody in the name of the political advisor of the governor have decided and has briefed various categories of party members who were stampeded into the government house and confronted with a list said to be the list that has been decided for that election.
We are deeply concerned that those very symptoms that destroyed the PDP in Kaduna and Nigeria are rearing themselves in APC. We will not in any way, tolerate, accept or endorse any darkroom list prepared in the palace of the government house of Kaduna State.
You know, you cannot have 100% victory anywhere, and it is normal in politics for those that lose to lose bitterly and feel disgruntled, and they have a right to say. So whoever says he's not happy, it is simply because he has not been able to achieve his political ego.
In Rivers State, South Nigeria, there was palpable tension in Port Harcourt, where protesters alleged an attempt to rig the elections and submit handwritten names of delegates.
One cannot jeopardize one's leniency, and one cannot be wrong to get right. We are calling on the federal government to cancel today's election.
We have been at the State Secretariat all day waiting for members of the Convention Committee from Abuja to come and distribute the material so that these congresses can be conducted in local government areas. But we got information that people were here filling in result sheets in a hotel, while all party leaders and members were at the State Secretariat.
Meanwhile, the publicity secretary of the party in the state, Chris Finebone, dismisses the allegations, insisting that the election held in all 23 local government areas.
This Congress, this particular set of Congresses, we are not supposed to be held in Port Harcourt as where the party headquarters is. Rather, they are supposed to be held in the LGA. That of Port Harcourt as a Port Harcourt city was held at the designated location.
After a meeting at the headquarters of the Rivers State Police Command, the senator representing the Rivers Southeast Senatorial District, Magnus Abe, promises that the party will resolve all issues.
All Progressives Congress is one family, and that whatever challenges that we have, we're working to resolve them within the mechanisms of the party.
Going forward, observers believe that the earlier the party puts its house in order, the better for it.
Meanwhile, the Kaduna State government has been reacting to the violence unleashed at the press conference organized by 2 APC senators to address issues arising in the party's Congress. Governor Nasir El-Rufai, in a statement, expressed sympathy with the injured, calling on security agencies to investigate the incident. The governor said the media must not be hindered from carrying out its constitutional and professional obligations, and that his government upholds the principle of free speech and respects the freedom of expression. Now, the clamor for restructuring in Nigeria has gotten a huge attention and remains in the front burner, but the way forward is still unclear, it seems. Today, a senior advocate of Nigeria, Chief Robert Clark, advised the federal government to quickly organize a process for a people constitution. A senior lawyer warned that there is no need to amend the 1999 constitution, as he describes it as a rotten egg. He was guest on our political program, Sunday Politics.
The 1999 constitution is a rotten egg in Nigeria. It is a constitution that has allowed both the executives operating it and the legislators operating it to feed themselves. So I believe that if we want to amend, there is no reason to amend a rotten egg. We ask ourselves, what do you mean by restructuring? Are you restructuring Nigeria as an entity? Or are you restructuring the system of governance? We cannot restructure Nigeria as an entity. That has to be clear to all of us. It is not negotiable. What we can negotiate is to restructure on the basis of governance. And what drags the governance is the Constitution. We ask ourselves, does this 1999 Constitution, does it help this country in the restructuring? Or do we jettison it? Go by way of a referendum. Ask the people, what type of system of governance do you want for this country? When the referendum says, oh, this is what we want, then a constituent assembly, one member from each local government will now come to the center in Abuja and sit down to see what form of system of governance we will now enjoy under what you and I, under a referendum, have asked the leaders to do.
Staying with the subject of national coexistence, the governor of Borno State and chairman of the Northern Governors Forum is calling on Southeast leaders to join hands in addressing the tension arising from the quit notice to Igbos living in the north about 2 months ago. Governor Kashim Shettima, who had a closed-door meeting with the leadership of the Arewa Youth's Coalition in Abuja, says the group has agreed to review its decision on the issue.
We have formed a common understanding on the challenges confronting us as a people and the solutions to those challenges. I have to commend them for honoring our invitation, because a political problem needs a political solution. Criminalizing them, harassing them, intimidating them will not find solutions to our challenges. They hold us in the highest esteem. They have agreed to review their decision. We'll follow it up to its logical conclusion. And believe me, without preempting the outcome of their meeting this week, I believe Nigerians will heave a sigh of relief. And I wish to call on the leadership of our brethren in the southeastern part of the country to equally seize the gauntlet, because it takes two to tango.
We hold him in high esteem, and we believe he has the concern for Nigeria, the unity of Nigeria at heart. That's all.
In part two, after the break, we take a look at the reactions trailing the recent flooding in parts of Lagos and what experts are saying about the situation. We have one expert in the studio who will be joining us. He's a professor of climatology at the University of Lagos, Professor Emmanuel Oladipo. Please join us again.